Hey everyone, it's your top 10 host here with a video that's a little disheartening. We're used to making lists of the coolest travel destinations, hidden gems you have to see. But today we're flipping the script. Because sometimes the world throws us curveballs, and certain places become off limits. We're talking about countries Americans won't be able to visit in 2025. So, buckle up as we explore these 10 countries and the reasons behind their restricted access. Kicking off our list is a country shrouded in mystery. North Korea. This East Asian nation, ruled by an authoritarian regime, has long been isolated from the rest of the world. For Americans, setting foot in North Korea is basically impossible. The US government has banned travel there due to the serious risk of arrest and long-term detention of US nationals. Beyond the political tension, there's a real lack of information coming out of North Korea. Their government tightly controls all media, so getting an accurate picture of life there is incredibly difficult. This combination of political isolation, safety concerns, and lack of diplomatic relations makes North Korea a no-go zone for Americans in 2025. Our next destination takes us to the Middle East, to a country with a rich history and culture, but unfortunately, a strained relationship with the United States, Iran. Now, Iran isn't completely off-limits to Americans. However, the US government strongly advises against travel there due to the risk of arbitrary arrest and detention. And trust me, you do not want to end up in an Iranian prison. This travel advisory stems from years of diplomatic conflicts and mistrust between the two countries. The reasons are complex, ranging from nuclear programs to differing geopolitical goals. The sad reality is that these political tensions overshadow the beauty and wonder that Iran has to offer. From ancient ruins to bustling bazaars, Iran is a country begging to be explored, but sadly, for Americans, that exploration will have to wait. Our journey takes us now to a country ravaged by conflict, Syria. Once home to vibrant cities and ancient wonders, Syria has been embroiled in a devastating civil war for over a decade. For Americans, traveling to Syria in 2025 is simply out of the question. The US government has issued its highest level of travel advisory, urging citizens to avoid all travel to the country. And for good reason. The ongoing violence, widespread destruction, and lack of essential services make Syria incredibly dangerous. Kidnappings, bombings, and armed conflict are tragically common occurrences. It's heartbreaking to see a country with such a rich history and culture torn apart by war. While we can only hope for a peaceful resolution to the conflict, for now, Syria remains a no-go zone for Americans and many others around the world. Chapter 4. Yemen. Trapped in conflict. Our exploration of inaccessible countries takes us next to Yemen, a nation located on the Arabian Peninsula. Yemen has been engulfed in a brutal civil war, leading to a catastrophic humanitarian crisis. For Americans, traveling to Yemen is absolutely off-limits. The US government has issued dire warnings, urging citizens to avoid all travel due to the extreme dangers posed by the ongoing conflict. And the risks are undeniable. Yemen is plagued by armed conflict, airstrikes, kidnappings, and a severe lack of essential services. The situation is so dire that even humanitarian aid workers struggle to operate safely within the country. It's a heartbreaking reality that such a beautiful and culturally rich country is caught in the throes of such devastating conflict. Let's hope for a future where peace prevails and Yemen can rebuild and heal. Chapter 5. Libya. Navigating uncertainty. Our journey now takes us to North Africa, to the country of Libya. Since the fall of Muammar Gaddafi in 2011, Libya has struggled to achieve political stability, making it a volatile and unpredictable destination. For Americans, traveling to Libya in 2025 is strongly discouraged. The US government has issued a high-level travel advisory, citing the risks of terrorism, kidnapping, and armed conflict. The country is divided, with various militias and factions vying for power. This instability creates a dangerous environment for travelers, particularly Americans, who may be targeted due to political tensions. It's important to remember that behind these travel warnings are real people and communities trying to rebuild their lives. Let's hope that Libya can find a path towards lasting peace and stability, allowing its rich history and culture to shine once again. Chapter 6. Somalia, a land of beauty and turmoil. Our next stop takes us to the Horn of Africa, to the country of Somalia. Somalia boasts stunning coastlines and a rich cultural heritage. For Americans, traveling to Somalia is out of the question. The US government has issued its highest level of travel warning. Somalia has been grappling with a civil war for decades. The lack of a strong central government makes it risky for outsiders. It's a shame that such a beautiful country is caught in this cycle of violence. Our journey continues in South America, to the country of Venezuela. Once a thriving nation, Venezuela has been grappling with a severe political and economic crisis, leading to hyperinflation, shortages of basic goods, and social unrest. For Americans, traveling to Venezuela in 2025 is strongly discouraged. The US government has issued a high-level travel advisory, citing the risks of crime, civil unrest, and arbitrary detentions. The political climate in Venezuela is incredibly tense, with the US government not recognizing the current Maduro regime. This has led to a breakdown in diplomatic relations and increased risks for American citizens traveling there. It's a heartbreaking situation for the Venezuelan people who are facing immense hardship. We can only hope for a peaceful resolution to the crisis, allowing Venezuela to recover and prosper once more. Chapter 8. Afghanistan, a land in transition. Our exploration takes us next to Afghanistan, a country that has witnessed decades of conflict and is now under the rule of the Taliban. The situation on the ground remains complex and uncertain, making it inaccessible to most travelers. For Americans, traveling to Afghanistan in 2025 is simply not an option. The US government has issued its highest level of travel advisory, urging citizens to avoid all travel due to the ongoing security risks and the uncertain political climate. The Taliban's takeover has raised serious concerns about human rights, particularly for women and girls. The security situation remains volatile, with the potential for violence and unrest. It's a time of profound change and uncertainty for Afghanistan. The international community is watching closely, hoping for a more stable and peaceful future for the Afghan people. Chapter 9. Iraq. Recovering from conflict. Our journey continues in the Middle East to the country of Iraq. While Iraq has made strides in rebuilding after years of conflict, it remains a country facing security challenges, making it off-limits to many travelers. For Americans, traveling to Iraq in 2025 is strongly discouraged. The US government has issued a high-level travel advisory, citing the risks of terrorism, kidnapping, and armed conflict. While the defeat of ISIS marked a turning point, the group's ideology continues to pose a threat. The presence of various militias and the ongoing fight against extremist groups contribute to the volatile security environment. It's crucial to remember that behind these travel warnings are real people striving to rebuild their lives and their country. Let's hope for a future where peace and stability prevail, allowing Iraq to heal and flourish once again. Chapter 10. Sudan, a nation in flux. Our final stop takes us to Sudan, a country in northeastern Africa that has faced political upheaval and internal conflict in recent years. The situation on the ground remains fluid, making it inaccessible to most travelers. For Americans, traveling to Sudan in 2025 is strongly advised against. The US government has issued a high-level travel advisory, citing the risks of civil unrest, crime, terrorism, and armed conflict. Sudan has experienced a military coup and ongoing protests, creating a volatile and unpredictable environment. The presence of armed groups and the potential for violence make it incredibly risky for foreigners. It's a critical time for Sudan as it navigates this period of transition. Let's hope that the country can find a path towards peace and stability, allowing its people to thrive and prosper. So, there you have it. 10 countries that Americans, for various reasons, won't be visiting in 2025. It's a sobering reminder that the world can be a complicated and often difficult place. Borders are drawn, conflicts erupt, and sometimes the safest choice is to stay put. But that doesn't mean we stop being curious, right? By learning about these countries, their histories, and the challenges they face, we gain a deeper understanding of our world and the interconnectedness of our human experience. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more updates. Let us know in the comments which country surprised you the most.